What's going on, friends? Harley-Davidson is actually offering a brand new Nightster at $99.99. While technically that's under 10 grand like it says, if you've got an extra $100,000 laying around to add to that, you can actually pick up a new Road Glide CVO RR. Now, granted it does have the 131 and it's an impressive motorcycle, that is absolutely an insane price. So somebody please help me make it make sense. Harley-Davidson is definitely taking this, sell less motorcycles, and make more on every motorcycle sold, really to the next level now. Harley-Davidson recently introduced a Road Glide CVO RR, and as I mentioned, it is highly impressive with all the trick race parts on it. There's a lot of cool stuff on this motorcycle, and what's really impressive is the amount of horsepower and torque they were able to get out of this bike with the emissions that they're required to put on it being an OEM manufacturer. Now, obviously priced at about $110,000, this motorcycle is definitely not for everyone. I mean, hell, for $110,000, you could go down to your local mobile home lot and get a luxury single-wide mobile home. I mean, we're talking loaded out, set up, and delivered for $110,000. But I'm going to make an attempt to try to make this make sense as to why a motorcycle from Harley-Davidson would be $110,000. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. My personal opinion is Harley-Davidson did this for attention. They wanted to get eyes back on the brand. Considering last time they had a lot of eyes on the brand, it was not for a good thing whatsoever. But I do believe they built this to try to get some publicity and try to showcase just what they can do. But obviously the thing that's really raising eyebrows is the cost of this bike. But guys, I really want your opinions as why do you think Harley-Davidson built something like this and priced it the way they did? But as with anything, I have no doubts that they will sell a few of them, and personally, I hope to actually run into one out in person because I ain't got the money to spend on something like that. No way, not no how. The CVO Road Glide RR definitely comes with some really trick parts that were derived from the racing program and adapted to the street. Now, what's got me scratching my head is, what the hell would you do with this motorcycle? It's like a race bike with basically a stereo and navigation on it. And it definitely doesn't look comfortable to spend all day on using it for its intended purpose, as it really is, at the heart of it, it's still a touring motorcycle. I guess you could take it out to your local road course and listen to some tunes and look at the navigation while you're out having a track day. I mean, honestly, to me, it's kind of like buying a Kawasaki Ninja and putting a stereo on it with navigation. Now, the bike does have some very high-end materials, though, having parts that are derived from billet aluminum, titanium, and even carbon fiber. This is some high-level stuff on this bike, and it's definitely reflected in the price, although for that price, they probably should have used a little bit more of it. But all jokes aside, Harley-Davidson really did build a high-performance machine. This has 150 horsepower and roughly about 150 foot-pounds of torque, all street emissions legal, out of a Harley-Davidson 131 engine. Now, obviously, you could get a lot more out of that by putting your own aftermarket exhaust and getting some non-EPA compliant tuning on it. Not only did they put a very high horsepower Milwaukee 8 131 in it, they put a race spec Screamin Eagle transmission in it, a billet aluminum rear swing arm, full race-tuned Olin suspension on it. That's some high-level stuff on this bike. Not to mention the 4-piston caliper brakes, Brembos, front and rear. Yes, obviously the front is 4-piston, but it's also dual brake rotor on the front. And on the back, they still have the 4-piston brake caliper, although the rotor's just slightly smaller. That right there, guys, that is MotoGP level stuff. The highest, most expensive level of motorcycle racing there is, all on a Harley-Davidson that they built for the street. But the part that really gets me is, yes, I understand they derived basically a race bike, turned it into a street bike, but the fact that we have all these high-end, high-performance components on the motorcycle, we still have the big screen on it with the digital dash, the navigation, and the stereo system, and, well, obviously the bags. I mean, one could argue it kind of is the best of both worlds, but this one might just be a little bit over the top. Now, this is the downside of this bike. This is what really gets me and what really disappointed me about this bike with all these neat components on it, all these weight-saving measures, lightweight pieces on it, is that with 6 gallons of fuel ready to run down the road, this bike still weighs 785 pounds. Now, just for comparison, at $45,000, which, hey, that doesn't sound too bad compared to the price of the RR model, the Road Glide ST, the CVO model, this bike actually is only 50 pounds heavier than the RR model with all the trick parts on it. The CVO Road Glide RR is only roughly about 50 pounds lighter than the ST model, which is about 50 grand cheaper, and that is even with carbon fiber bodywork, billet aluminum swing arm, billet aluminum controls, and a full titanium exhaust system. That right there is pretty disappointing to me if I'm being honest here. With all those trick parts on the RR model, I fully expected it before even looking at the specs, just reading about what it actually had. I expected that bike to come in under 700 pounds ready to run. I know that's asking a lot out of a bagger, but when you're charging $110,000, I feel like everybody should expect that if you're going to throw that kind of money out there. The CVO Road Glide RR is definitely a very trick and unique piece from Harley-Davidson. As I mentioned, I don't really know how comfortable that thing would be running down the road, as your controls are all billet aluminum, and they're set up and back. The bars, kind of the same situation, they kind of throw you forward. Just kind of a toned down race position for the street. I'm sure it'd be cool to go blast around town on, but I don't know how far you'd actually want to go on it. I'll probably never get to ride one, but if you do, let me know, because I'm really curious as just what is the comfort level on this thing, considering the way it's built and what it's designed for. It is a very limited numbers performance machine, so I would honestly be highly surprised if anybody actually bought one to ride it. I figure this is going to go to some very large dealerships. They might buy one to display it, or somebody that's got a metric butt ton of money that wants to put it in their living room. I honestly see that's kind of the destination for a lot of these bikes. And in the coming years, I damn sure won't be surprised if we're sitting around watching the Mika motorcycle auction and we see one of these roll across the block with somebody trying to get double the retail price for it. The good news is that if you wanted a bike built like the CVO RR, but you're not willing to spend $110,000, you could probably save yourself about 60 grand with the cost of the motorcycle. You could actually go out, buy a Harley-Davidson touring machine in any flavor that you like, and go in and do the engine work. Put it in a crate engine. Do what you want to it. Get that kind of horsepower and torque. But the thing is, you got to be willing to put the money at least into the engine and suspension. And then after that, everything else is pretty subjective. You could keep it more street oriented if you wanted, or you could kind of go a little bit more with that track replica like they did. But that's going to drive your cost up, especially if you're just interested in having the horsepower and torque, being able to live with it and ride it every day, and go in a straight line fast in it. So what are your thoughts on the Road Glide CVO RR? Do you think Harley-Davidson built it just to showcase what they could do? Do you think they built it for attention? It's definitely not built for the masses, but some elite few that can spare 110 grand on a motorcycle. And who knows, maybe we'll see some of these trick parts and some of the technology that they put into this bike. Maybe we'll see this filter down kind of into Harley-Davidson's more mainstream model lines, the ones that you and I would possibly go out and buy if we were going to buy a new one. Because that's kind of where everything comes from with Harley-Davidson. It starts out at the CVO line, and then it trickles down into everything else. But anyhow, guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But till next week, guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars. I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.